Bray Wyatt was one of the most influential figures in the world of pro wrestling. He was not able to finish his story the way that, most fans would have loved to seen his story being finished. So today, with the power of WWE 2K26, we are going to be rebooking Bray Wyatt's 2023 run all the way up into current day. And I must put a disclaimer: this is just, this is just fantasy booking. I'm not, in any way intending this to be disrespectful or any type of that manner. It is just a vision, and we are going to be fantasy booking his run. So we started out with, WrestleMania 39. It was going to be Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is in the funhouse. He is saying that, Bobby Lashley is not going to have a chance against this monster, this man in the woods. And, during the build-up, the Fiend would show up in the funhouse as Bobby Lashley was trying to maybe get the one up on this funhouse version of Bray, but the Fiend attacked him. And heading into WrestleMania 39, Bobby Lashley come back as the 2006 kind of Dominator version of Bobby Lashley, and Bray Wyatt showed up as his regular self. There was no Fiend, there was no nothing, it was just Bray Wyatt. So it was kind of very unusual, you never would really realize that. But Bray Wyatt had come in, and Bray Wyatt was here at WrestleMania 39, his first match, since the Royal Rumble at that time period. And this is what would be happening. It was going to be Lashley and Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt permanently, I believe, dominated for most of this matchup. Bray Wyatt would line him up for the Sister Abigail with the crab walk, and then connecting with the Sister Abigail. However, he only got a 2 count out of that. And then, blocking in the mandible claw was Bray Wyatt. Bobby Lashley would pass out as Bray Wyatt would defeat Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 39. And Bray Wyatt would take a hiatus after this due to some health issues. When returning from a hiatus, it was kind of in the late 2024. He'd faced Damian Priest, Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, and Finn Balor. After returning, he would enter himself in the Royal Rumble. He would come out at number 30 for his slot, and Bray Wyatt would go face to face with the person that he beat at WrestleMania 36, and he would eliminate that person at John Cena, and he would go on to WrestleMania 41 and face off against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who both of them have history, and it was set to be an interesting bout. And Bray Wyatt would play mind games in the funhouse, saying that the Fiend was coming for Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. The main event of WrestleMania 41, Night 2, was set to be The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Bray Wyatt was set. This is a new reincarnation of The Fiend. It had not been showcased to this moment, and for WrestleMania 41, Bray Wyatt brought out this new side of The Fiend against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. This was the first main event that Bray Wyatt had that was in front of the fans, and the fans were certainly in for a treat. It was Cody Rhodes and Bray Wyatt. And again, Cody had mentored one of Bray's former personalities. It was for the Undisputed Championship, and it was a hard-fought battle. I mean, this is just back and forth. Bray Wyatt, though, hitting a senton and then going in for the mandible claw. And Cody Rhodes passed out to the mandible claw. And the Fiend was the undisputed heavyweight champion. And the Fiend closed out WrestleMania on a high note. The Fiend finally putting away the demons, but speaking of demons, Bray Wyatt would just, he would talk in the funhouse, but then he was attacked by Randy Orton, somebody who he has history with, and that was just kind of shocking. And in St. Louis at Backlash, you had Randy Orton getting his matchup with Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton was here in his home place in St. Louis, Missouri. But could he defeat Bray Wyatt again? That was the question. Could he defeat Bray Wyatt again? Well, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend does not come out for this one. It is Bray Wyatt himself. And Bray Wyatt was set to put out some of those demons. He was set, he was determined, he wanted to put out some of these demons that he had in the past. But could it be that he puts away somebody who is looking for their 14th, I believe, or 15th World Heavyweight Championship at this point? As Bray Wyatt, though, would hit the Sister Abigail. Randy Orton, though, would come back with that vintage DDT. And Randy would line him up for an RKO. And Randy Orton, a very vicious competitor, would hit the RKO, and that could be it. But Bray Wyatt actually kicks out of the RKO. But then Bray Wyatt locked in the mandible claw and was able to put down Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt retains the WWE Championship, but then there was this kind of funhouse segment, and he was talking about CM Punk, that he wants CM Punk at Night of Champions. Well, CM Punk come out in a classic kind of Ring of Honor style gear. CM Punk, gave him lashings back in the day as Husky Harris. And, CM Punk was getting ready to pay the piper, for so say, as the Fiend come back for this matchup at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. And the Fiend was ready for action. The Fiend, CM Punk, first time ever. As it was a very brutal encounter. And Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, would hit the Sister Abigail. But again, CM Punk would kick out. And then mandible claw was locked in. As it was a 3 count, and the Fiend retains the title against CM Punk. But going into SummerSlam, automatically, Bray Wyatt took a little bit of a hiatus. Roman Reigns, he had been the one that wronged the Fiend. And it was going to be some kind of redemption story here. At SummerSlam, the Fiend would take on the Tribal Chief, as it was going to be in a Bloodline Rules match. Bray, at this point, the Fiend, didn't really have anybody. But Bray was ready. The Fiend was ready to defend the championship in the honor of the Wyatts. As during this matchup, there was a Uranagi, and then right there, the Mandible Claw, and Roman Reigns actually passed out to the Mandible Claw. And with a couple of interferences from the new kind of Wyatts, like the Wyatt Six, fending off the Usos, fending off Solo Sikoa, the Fiend gets the victory at SummerSlam. And then, speaking of demons, Seth Rollins would return at the Royal Rumble after having kind of a more minor injury compared to his real life one. Seth Rollins returned at the Royal Rumble. Bray Wyatt, after SummerSlam, took a kind of the hiatus because he is deemed as a special attraction. And Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns would go face to face. The winner would face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, but who was it going to be? And unfortunately for Roman Reigns, Rollins would go for the elimination, but then Roman, going for a spear, gets ducked. Rollins got counted as well. Enziguri from Rollins, and then Rollins measured him up, and a curb stomp from Seth Rollins was delivered, and then Seth Rollins would toss Roman Reigns out and eliminate him, as Seth Rollins won his second, I believe, he won his second Royal Rumble matchup, as Seth Rollins was going to face off against Bray Wyatt. And the promos there, Bray Wyatt would be like, you tried to burn down this empire, you tried to burn down the Funhouse, now you're going to have to pay for this. So Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, he would, go into a challenge that, was considered by many to be deemed one of the worst matches and worst Hell in a Cell matches in history. But this one was Bray Wyatt as his regular self versus Seth Rollins, and it was very chaotic. Sister Abigail breaking the top of the cell, and then the Mandible Claw from Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt would end up defeating and taking out his demons. But then the strange set of promos would be filmed for, Saturday Night's main event. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega would call out Bray Wyatt, calling him, a fraud. But then Alexa Bliss would be with Bray Wyatt, and it set up a mixed tag team matchup between the two. It was Zelina Vega and Aleister Black versus Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss at Saturday Night's main event, and Bray Wyatt not out holding the championship at this moment. The Funhouse version of Bray Wyatt, the Funhouse version of Alexa Bliss, and Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. And you would have to think if, Aleister got the victory here, that he would be in contention for the title. And Zelina Vega, and during this matchup, a black mass was hit, and Bray Wyatt would be beaten, as, during this, after this, Aleister Black would do a promo, kinda. He'd be like, I want you at SummerSlam, and we are going to see who the biggest dark entity is. And it had not yet been, confirmed as it was Aleister Black and Bray Wyatt for the undisputed championship on SmackDown, as Malachi was ready. He was ready to go. It was going to be a colossal kind of clash of supernatural entities, as the Fiend was primed. He was ready to go. It was a casket match between these two. That was the only fitting thing that, these two with creative characters could do. And it was for the undisputed title. It was Aleister Black and it was the Fiend who is gonna win this casket match. Very high stakes at SummerSlam Minneapolis, and it was gonna feel like a big fight field. Well, during this matchup, the Fiend and Aleister had a stare down. It was it kind of felt like a passing of the torch moment. I mean, both of these men, big knee strikes from him, as in a DDT there, very physical contest. A Sister Abigail on the outside from the Fiend, and then that shot right there was able to secure, after a brutal matchup, and Aleister Black won the WWE Undisputed Championship. But after that, Bray Wyatt kind of went into a role with the Wyatt Six being the kind of full leader of this group now. And with that, it kind of, allows him to rest, not have to do so many bumps and all that stuff. But, this was the fantasy booking of Bray Wyatt's WWE run. And if you did enjoy this video, I hope that you give this video a big thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel. This is just a rebooking of Bray's run. Again, there's no intent to disrespect him or his family. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you guys later. Peace out.